watching something on a computer screen or your TV screen that you just like left you awestruck, like, oh my gosh, how did they do that? It's amazing. I remember the first time I ever saw something like that. I was 6 years old, and I was playing Nintendo's original The Legend of Zelda. I was like, oh my gosh, I got this little green dude, he's yay big. This was back when it was 8-bit. I don't know why it's making a comeback now, but whatever. And I get to go around killing bad guys, save the girl. I was like, this is so cool. Well, I came to find out it was because of a computer programmer. Now, the purpose of this is to tell you about the salaries, how much they make, how much you really experienced ones make, job opportunities, where you can go with that, and expanding in new technologies in the specific field. Now, as a disabled vet, I'm not able to work at Viracon because I have muscles in my back right here. When they get too much tension on there, they actually start crushing my spine. And so I have to get like an office job, quote unquote, something where I can sit, but I can still stand up and move around when I need to. So I was like, what can I do with that? Well, and I remembered as a kid, I can do that. Now there's a wide range of programming opportunities out there. For instance, I could go work for Ubisoft that produces one of my favorite games today in Assassin's Creed. They'll take you into a present day situation, and then they throw your character into this little machine, and then you're transported back to the 1700s Rome. You get to see what Rome looked like in 1700, or what Florence looked like in the late 1600s. There's one where you get to live the American Revolution, which is really cool. You get to see all these historical places and whatnot, and live it, all because of a computer program. At the far end of the spectrum, I could go back and work for the government if I wanted to. Anywhere from the FBI, the CIA, anything with these three-lettered acronyms. However, the problem with that is, though, I'd have to get a security clearance, and I don't know if I want the hassle of dealing with that. And if you don't know what a security clearance is, basically it comes out in a card. Or actually, back up a little bit. There's a mountain of paperwork you got to complete. Contacts, places you've met. Have you ever met with a foreign dignitary? That's something you're going to have to know. Where have you lived your entire life? All your addresses. There's 4 levels of a security clearance. There's confidential, secret, top secret, and a special access program, which only like a handful of people have, like the president, secretary of state, etc. I definitely don't want that. I don't want to know the government's dirty little secrets. I could care less, in all honesty. And just like, and then pay-wise it'd be great, but I was like, do I really want to go with that? Because I'm sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. And so I spoke to a friend of my mother's who works at Federated Insurance. He's a programmer with them, excuse me. And he said starting salary is $70,000. After a few years experience, you have the opportunity to move to another company. Actually, you do have the opportunity to move to another country. Ubisoft has places all over the world. But some of them make $120,000 a year. That would be awesome. And then according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, there is a 15% growth rate over the next 10 years. And with everything becoming automated these days, this field of work is not going to disappear anytime soon. Now, I do have a couple of visual aids for you. due to the expanding technologies that are coming out. First off, here's an example code that somebody unknown, they did not post their name when they posted this online, there was no username, but it's an example code here of, actually I don't even know what, they didn't even say what it was, to be honest, but that's what a programmer learns to do. Learns to write gibberish. Next, and I could not believe this when I first saw it. This has got to be a hoax, even though it's coming from Google. This is artificial intelligence making a phone call to a salon.
Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second.
Now you can go back and watch this, but here's the person from the salon. There's the AI. Sounds real, doesn't it? It's incredible. They have another one where they actually add in the voice to make it sound authentic. The next aid I have to show you, which is another really cool one, is the possibility of virtual reality. Basically, it's just a set of goggles you throw on your face with your phone attached. That's how real and how up close it is. So you gotta be careful, because when you put these on, you can turn and turn and turn, and you will get a 360 view of whatever you're looking at. Notice that in that commercial clip I just played, it was daytime. He was looking at the moon. So, in conclusion, I've talked about possible salaries, where I could start at, after a little bit of years of experience, how much I could make, a company I could work for, and then the government, and then expanding technologies. And that's barely touching the surface of what is the possibilities that are out there. So with that, thank you very much. Questions?
After you get your degree from here, will you have to go on somewhere and get a bachelor's in order to pursue this career?
When I get done with my generals here in the fall, in fact, I'll be going over to the U in Mankato. Finish up the specialized classes like Java, C#, all those.
Can you understand all that programmer script yet?
No, not that one.
Or just anyone in general, if you like looking at it or just
I've done a little bit of JavaScript, so if you specifically show me some JavaScript, I could probably point out, okay, this is what this does, this is what this does, stuff like that. But the more advanced stuff I haven't touched yet.
So I'm just wondering. So if you sit down, you're writing script all day. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Do you write some of it and then you sort of look at it, test it, run it, whatever, to see how's it look, what's it doing? Kind of go back and forth like that as you add stuff?
You can actually, and that's actually one really cool thing about Google Chrome. That's Google Chrome source code.
Oh, you can just go in and see it, yeah.
Yeah. So as I'm writing my own, I can actually open it up in Google Chrome and then see my source code, and they have other functions in here where you can stop it, and then if you have made a mistake, then you'll see where the line has broken, if you will, and then you just go back to your program, fix that code, save it, refresh your page, and then retest it. And then you don't have to write the full page. You can write a section at a time and then test it that way.
I'm just trying to picture a programmer's day, how what they're doing, and not just, looking at letters and scribbles and stuff. At some point, they're looking at the product and going back and fixing and looking at the product. And it might be interesting, kind of like slow-mo painting, right? And to some extent, you see how you're doing as you move along.
The way that my JavaScript teacher explained it to us is when he first started out, his boss handed him a packet of specs and said, "Here you go." He's flips through. I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's daunting." However, it's like, wait a minute, I can do that in one chunk. 3 or 4 pages later, I can do that in another chunk, and then I can do another section in another chunk, and then go back and then tie it all together. So that's how he explained it to me. Now, whether that's still in effect today, I don't know, with how advanced things have been getting, because he first started out 30 years ago, 40 years ago, whatever it was. I don't remember exactly what he said.
You can do the same thing with public speaking, folks. You're giving a speech. If you know what the template is, it's chunks. You don't have to do the whole damn thing in one night unless you belong to a summer course like this. In most cases, you can do it at a piece by piece by piece, tie her all together with transitions, and all right, thanks a lot. Hey, good job. These are 4 solid speeches, and given the fact that you had such a short amount of time, that's no offense, but a little surprising. The outlines look pretty good. You guys labeled your support well enough that I can at least go home and give it a fair look and give you some fair credit for it. I teach the class a lot, usually over 15 or 16 weeks. Typically, this speech isn't even this good. But I think summer students are special. In parentheses, I don't know how they're different. You're different for sure, because you're not the average student. You've self-selected into a short summer course. So nice job. I will try my best to get everything graded and up there on D2L so you have some idea of how you did, and hopefully even have your videos out there so you can have a viewing party tonight or maybe tomorrow. And if you're not clear on what the homework is for Monday, just stick around and ask me. Otherwise, I'll assume you kind of know what we're doing on Monday, and we'll see you then.